Hey guys, welcome back. And once again today, we're in control of the mighty Wood Elves here, led by Ryan himself, the demigod, up against the Empire. So I'm going to have to pause this battle. As you can see, we're going incredibly old school to one of the first ever builds I used on Total War Warhammer. I believe my second video was using a similar build to this. So let's see how much I've improved over the last couple of months if I can make this build work. So for the front line, we have gone for Dryads, who are all chevroned up. Now, Dryads, pretty damn good against Empire. I mean, they have their magic attacks don't come into play too much here, but they are damage dealers. They can tear apart low-tier Empire infantry, especially for their cost, as they're fairly cheap, and they're fairly resistant for the little trees that they are. Now, in the second line, we do have 3 units of Wild Riders with shields, including the Wild Hunters of Kurnos, which is the Regiment Renowned version. These guys are absolute trucks, powerhouses. They have the Frenzy, they're massive damage dealers. However, they are super glass cannon. They cannot take a punch back. So they're a heavy shot cav. You want to get them in there and then pull them out as quickly as possible. But they're super fast and they fight extra better in woods, which is perfect, as it looks like my opponent has set up in the woods over here. Now in the back we do have the Loic Tricksters, which is the regiment around War Dancers, a fantastic anti-large, and as you can see from our army, they're the majority of our anti-large, so they're going to have to be very careful, have to look after them quite a lot. But they have a few nifty tricks up their sleeves. Apart from looking absolutely gangster as hell with all their tattoos and whatnot, they also have Storm of Blades, which is pretty useful. But more important is Loic Shroud, plus 24% speed, but also gives them Stalk and Unspottable. So if your opponent does try and snipe them out, you can just make them visible and force them up into the positions you want to get them into. We have gone for the beast, the man himself, or the demigod himself, I should say, Orion right here. Now, I haven't used Orion in quite a long time. I've been favouring the Glade Lady or the Glade Lord. However, here's a few nifty abilities, and this is one of the original builds I tried out, or it's very similar, where you have this massive vanguard force of Dryads and Wild Riders. You pop the Horn of the Wild Hunt for that extra 54% charge bonus, and you just slam in. So if you can synergize that at the right time, you can do a ton of damage. He also, of course, has the Cloak of Isha with him. At least I hope he does. Yeah, there he does. Which is a crazy bonus. So 44% damage resistance plus a huge replenishment of hit points that comes into effect when he gets below 20%. So your opponent thinks he's finished him off, but really he's just getting started. We also have gone for a Spell Slinger of Life, just with the healing, and also with Shield of Thorns, which is quite useful. That 22% physical resistance plus 25% weapon damage. Just drop that on your front line to give an added bit of punch. Now, something I don't normally bring in this matchup, I never used to, but I've been trying out recently. I've been desperately trying to get him to work because I really want him to, is the Waystalker, who I just don't think is competitive, but we're trying to make it happen. So he has a few cool nifty abilities like the Arrow of Kurnos and whatnot, and also, where is it? The Eyes of Kurnos, which is plus 10% missile damage, which isn't actually that useful where I've placed him here, but if you run him with Waywatchers, maybe it can get some fairly decent value. It looks like he's got some friends over here in the Outriders. So that is it for my army, and obviously you can tell the main plan, just slam in, full on, everyone has a plan until they're punch in the face type of maneuver. Now for my opponent, he does have 2 units of Outriders on the flank here, quite like this pick, very fast, and the guns can do a decent amount of damage up against some squishy elves. Now in the very far back, he does have 2 mortars, which are also a great pick against lightly armoured forces. And also over on the flank, he has the Hammer of the Witches, the regiment around Great Cannon, which does a ton of damage. So I need to shut all of these 3 down rather quickly. Now for his lord, up here on his mighty little wagon with his flaming hammer, looking all like just badass. I'm not sure about the glowy green symbol, but apart from that, that massive moustache, big horns, everything you would want from a fantasy character is Volkmar the Grim, who's going to be dropping loads of buffs and debuffs and causes terror, and he's quite tanky, which is quite a problem obviously for the Wood Elves. Now he has a couple of spear units, it looks like, in the back, just protecting his artillery pieces and his flank. And for the front line, he's gone fairly cheap with some swordsmen. Looks like a couple of units of halberds and 2 units of crossbowmen. Overall, really like this build. You don't need to go too expensive up against the Wood Elves in the front line. You need to try and ping them down with such things as crossbowmen. And they're obviously better than handguns in this matchup, because most of the Wood Elves tend to be lightly armoured. He's also gone for a Witch Hunter as well, who you don't see too often. But let's see what he's brought with himself. So he does have Accusation, which is a really nice debuff, and also the Opal Amulet, 22% damage resistance, making him slightly more tanky. So let's get this underway. So instantly you can see I'm just pushing everything forward, apart from that Waystalker over there. He was up to a kill already, not too bad. He's managed to take down an Outrider. Let's see if he manages to pay for himself in this battle. So we're taking some initial volleys from the mortars, and you can see they already do quite a lot of damage, but luckily you know, we're neglecting some of their power just by being so close to them this early on. It looks like Volkmar is running to intercept the Wild Hunters of Connors, who are beaming for that cannon. Has also fired a couple of shots and doing a ton of damage, but it looks like the horn has been sounded and the Wild Riders go crashing into the front line here, and they're going to break these swordsmen rather quickly. Most people like using cav on the flanks or defensively, but sometimes a front line, just absolute body in charge, can help really shatter that front line as quick as possible. Looks like we've already broken a unit off this early on and dropped an Earthblood to keep these Dryads in the fight up against these Halberdiers. It looks like this unit of Wild Riders has managed to push all the way to the back and hop on these mortars and start shutting them down. However, on the flank, a little on my opponent did actually have some Knights of the Blazing Sun, which I think I missed, hidden in the trees, and they're going to be a big problem. They'll be able to go toe-to-toe quite easily with the Wild Riders. So we really need to shut these guys down, and he's managed to swoop his Outriders round the back here to pressure me from behind. Now the Waste Stalker is just constantly firing into those Blazing Suns right now, or the Outriders, and then he's switched to the Knights of the Blazing Sun. He's up to 7 kills, nothing too spectacular left yet. So the Spellslinger just hanging out on the edge of the battlefield, dropping her buffs and supporting. And it looks like Orion has found his juicy target. This is just where he wants to be. We have got the Loic Tricksters up here with him, I believe. Yeah, here they are. And together, they're going to pin in Volkmar. And yes, he has a ton of buffs. But Orion is one hell of an absolute beast in combat. Plus the anti-large the Loic Tricksters, we should be able to pin in Volkmar and start to drag him down. He does drop a nice banishment, but it does look like it, unfortunately for him, moves away from the Dryads a little bit. So as you can see, this Elf army, it is super glass cannon like I mentioned before, and a lot of units are already beaten up. What we're going to do with them is just take these Wild Riders and simply chase down these routing units. They are incredibly fast, and you get great value. We're going to bring this Spellslinger over as well to do it to these crossbowmen, and that's just trying to push the power balance in our favour as much as possible, and stopping these units coming back and affecting the game. So it looks like the jewel of all jewels is going on here. These Loic need to get up a little bit more and surround. It looks like they're actually going to be doing that now, which is quite useful. And Orion is just absolutely spearing Volkmar right in the face. And you can see he's starting to tank quite hard now. He's a very tough dude overall, but this is a lot of anti-large coming at him. It looks like this beat up unit of Wild Hunters of Connors have managed to slightly recover from their early losses and charge into his hammer and bring it down with the assistance of these Dryads. These Dryads are desperately trying to get on top of these Outriders and shut them down, but a downhill charge coming in from these heroic Knights of the Blazing Sun, and they are just absolutely steamrolling these poor Dryads who I don't think are long for the world. The rest of the fight isn't going too bad. The power balance is slightly in our favour, as it does look like we did manage to bring down Volkmar, so that Loic Tricksters plus Orion managed to tank him down. Orion, for his troubles, did take a ton of damage, but now there's not too much left on the battlefield that can hurt him. Of course, he still has that Cloak of Isha in his back pocket. It looks like he's trying to shut down his crossbowmen, and we do have a unit of fairly beat up Wild Riders coming in the back there just to assist breaking them off. And as you can see, we have a unit of just 7 here, not too good in combat anymore, so they're going to be chasing down 44 spearmen here, shattering them, and then just moving on. And you can see we've been doing that all game. It looks like we have 2 cannons shut down here, and these crossbowmen aren't long for the world. However, power balance is quite heavily in my favour. These Knights of the Blazing Sun are still going to be quite a big problem. However, they do charge into the Loic Tricksters, who do have Shield of Thorns pop down on them, so they should be able to tank some of that initial burst damage and then give it back in kind. It looks like with their leadership gone, a lot of the Empire troops who do tend to have fairly low, flimsy morale in general, are starting to run for the hills, and with this many fast units of Wild Riders, even the Dryads aren't too slow, and also the Spellslinger on her horse, we're just going to chase down these units, stop them coming back, and start to isolate this Witch Hunter and these remaining Outriders. Looks like they do get some Hounds called down on them, who do a little bit of a hit, but they did actually start over here, so they managed to do a decent amount of damage. It looks like the Waste Stalker is only on to 15 kills. He has been firing into the Knights most of the game, but unfortunately he really hasn't paid for himself, but hey, at least that's 15 dead, enemies. So he's done a little bit. He's been here. He gets a participation, if I can say that word, medal. But overall, nice Pyrrhic victory there. So let's go to the end stats. It's a nice quick battle. It's always very quick with this Wood Elf build or these type of builds. Super rush. It's you're either going to lose very quickly or you're going to manage to rout off the enemy and chase them down. Now for my opponent here, well played to BD Macduff 2. I hope to see you again on ladder. Very cool opponent here. Knights of the Blazing Sun, really good pick in this matchup, I think. They go toe-to-toe with Wild Riders fairly effectively, and to be honest, against most of the infantry. Wood Elves really do struggle up against, mass kind of Rohan-style armies. Knights of the Blazing Sun certainly fit that build. I also do actually like the picks of the mortars, but they were kind of countered just by the kind of mad high attack rush build that we went for here. But overall, MVPs probably have to actually go to Ryan, I would say, managing to do 61 kills plus, pinning in Volkmar and dragging him down. Managing to drag him down and then causing terror himself, and managed to break off the rest of the leadership and chase them down with our Wild Riders, who, yes, some of them got 267 kills, which is pretty crazy, but a lot of that obviously would have been done on routing down troops. Overall, it was really fun to actually revisit and update a little bit. There's a few changes here to an old army that I brought very early on, and I've had great success with it still. So, still really enjoying this build, really enjoying playing the Wood Elves at the moment, so hope you guys are enjoying the videos as well. If you are, please do leave a like and subscribe, really helps out. And I may even be doing a live stream tonight, probably about 8 PM or 9 PM British time. Just like an all-comers, any subscribers who want to play against me, feel free to join. We can just do some fun games. I don't mind hosting some games if some people want to go against each other. If there's no one around, I'll just happily do some quick battles. It does depend a little bit on what my housemates are doing, as there may be a chance we're all free at the same time, which never happens. We might end up just hanging out together or going and seeing probably the latest Spider-Man movie. But if that doesn't happen, then I'll be online. So I'll keep you guys updated. Just keep a little eye out on the channel around about that time. I will pop a notice if I'm going to be doing that, of just, you know, when the stream's going to debut and all that kind of crap you can do on YouTube. So anyway, guys, enough rambling there. Hope you did enjoy. Peace, peace, stay awesome. See you next time.